And action.
Mario's bones will crunch beneath my feet. His very soul will beg for mercy.
Hello and welcome to Production Diary number 3.
On the days when we don't have access to the amazing cinematography equipment of Andrew Irish, we have duct tape.
The villains of the Plumber Knight Returns are called the Goombahs, and they are led by a leader named the Koopa. These are not the Goombas and Koopas from what you're used to in Super Mario. They are just a gang kind of using that name as an homage to those villains of Mario's past.
So we learned a very valuable lesson about buying ski masks on Amazon.com. We saw a whole bunch and we got like 6 of them for $2 a pop, and we were like, oh, this is a great deal! Because, you know, ski masks are usually about $10 each. And then they showed up. And as you can see here, the place where your mouth is supposed to be so you can speak is so high, it's a nose hole instead of a mouth hole. So, buy your ski masks at the store in person so you can try them on.
Originally, I was thinking that the Goombas would look something like the ninjas from the 5th season of Stupid Mario, but I didn't want them to get confused. So we went with more of a classic leather, studdy, like 1950s street gang look that is ending up kind of reminiscent of the mutants from Dark Knight Returns, so that kind of works out. And also, they kind of have an attitude that's sort of a mixture of that, the mutants, and the Joker gang from Batman Beyond. So, you know, if you see, you know, some references to those, like, through dialogue or something, then, you know, cool. There is a giant Goomba who goes by the name of Jekyll. And I originally thought of him because I was playing Fallout, and I love the Fallout series. And I was replaying Fallout 3 for like the 5th billionth time, and I got to the part with Fox, who's the big one that helps you out and has the big gun. And you know, I was just kind of paying attention to that and being like, what if I had like a super mutant type villain? And so of course the only person I could think of that was like tall and big enough to play this character was Ed Giles, my good friend who you have maybe seen in previous RMA productions.
Well, my name's Ed Giles Jr. I play this guy right here named Jekyll, who makes his appearance about halfway through the series. He is, let's just say he's a very not nice guy. There's not a lot known about him, what he can do, what his capabilities are, but what we do know about him is that he is very sadistic and very much likes to inflict pain and worse. And so that's why they chose me, because I'm the meanest, most sadistic guy that Richie knows. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it, but I have to kill at least one person a week. On camera, off camera, doesn't matter, just as long as you're responsible for hiding the bodies. And he's like, okay, fine, we got it in the budget, it's all good. So here I am.
So for those of you that have been watching our videos for years, you probably remember the ongoing joke that we've had where anytime we had a Harry Potter related video and we had Hagrid, instead of actually saying the name of the actor who played Hagrid, we just called him the guy who plays Hagrid. But, you know, it's been a long time and Harry Potter, you know, the series is over now. So we talked to the guy who plays Hagrid, and his name is actually Ed Giles, and he said he's happy to have that mystery end. So, Ed has worked with us in the past, and he did a fantastic job returning to the Rich Alfers channel playing a new character called Jekyll, as Richie explained, and you will really enjoy his performance.
In the Koopas gang, literacy is important. We believe in a well-educated militia. If you don't know how to read, how are you going to take over the world? And if you don't know how to read, how are you going to learn to use the instruction manuals on things like lead pipes and rocks to break buildings and people's bones? Reading is essential.
Ed is a fantastic actor. Me and my sister worked with him in the theater realm, and he's a fantastic writer and director as well. He wrote a lot of our videos. He wrote the Chris vs. Richie Holiday trilogy that we had just not too long ago, and he's a real joy to work with. One of the Goombas lives in this very creepy shack. There's another Goomba who goes by the name of Claus, and he is an excellent fighter, and he's kind of, you know, that guy. If you saw the trailer, he's the guy that you see kind of being like Bruce Lee when he's fighting Mario. Claus is played by our good friend Garrett, and he is a fantastic martial artist. And not only did he make the character of Claus look good, he also helped me with my own fighting and kind of choreographed most of the fights within the season. So it was a real pleasure to have him on board as fight coordinator slash instructor slash fight consultant.
It'll be done awesomely.
Who knows why Richie brought me on exactly, but my goal here to contribute to this production is, I don't know, some fight expertise. I have 4th degree black belt in Kempo and done some choreography for Under Armour commercials, a few productions that have been on stage at like King's Game and stuff like that. Hopefully, and hopefully Richie will give me the chance to mill around a little bit and contribute some heres and theres on the fight scenes. So, I don't know. When this all comes together, hopefully we'll have some good fights with some good action, some big bone-breaking combat. Richie's always been talking about how he wants this one to be dark and where, you know, a deviation from the stylized stupid Mario Brothers fight scenes, you know, stuff that played on individual characters. He wants this one brutal and bone-breaking, and I'm gonna see what I can pull together to accomplish that end.
He could be filming from here, and I could be out of frame and jump over the fence behind you.
That's a really good idea.
Like, oh.
This time I wanted to do it a little bit different. As my good friend Matt Provincial would say, you know, you never want to have something in the same location too many times. So we kind of picked and choose what we would have from our previous videos, but we wanted to open up to a lot of new locations, in which case we have sweeping cityscape, establishing shots. We went to all kinds of different cool locations, old buildings, barns, alleyways, those sorts of things to kind of really give you a sense that you're in the city. And I think that it plays off really well, and it's something that we're working with and we'll try to improve upon when we maybe, hopefully, possibly, probably get to Season 2.
It's the Koopa! Get him!
The Goomba leader is the Koopa, and many of you saw him in the trailer, and he was all, you know, in the, you know, gritty, you know, VCR type thing, and, you know, basically the way that that works is all that you will know about him is that he's the leader of the Goombas. He wears a mask, and you don't get to see his face. But I will tell you that one thing that was cool was that I got to play around a lot with audio effects, you know, like, to do the Koopa voice, basically what I did, because I was the voice in the trailer, I did my best Shere Khan impression. Shere Khan is the villain from the Jungle Book, and, you know, I was like, you know, people of Feral City, I am Shere Khan. And basically I just do a bunch of filters until I get it to sound all weird. Andrew Irish, which many of you know as our part-time cinematographer, was nice enough to do the special effects for the show. So here's a quick breakdown of a fireball.
Enjoy.
One other thing that I was doing was messing around with colors, because Feral City in the entire show, I wanted it to have kind of a gray tone, sort of grayish blue, in the same way that the Matrix has a green tone in those films. So here's a few seconds of a side-by-side of the trailer, non-color corrected and color corrected. So Chris, let's move on and talk about some of the familiar faces on the show.
Oh, let's.
Now, we had two awesome familiar faces. I mean, there are several familiar faces, I mean, but we've already talked about Matt Provincial and Jacqueline Thompson, but right now we're going to talk about Doug Orofino and Scott Otter.
So let's start with Doug.
I'm here with Douglas Chandler Orofino. You may remember him from Stupid Mario Brothers. He played Waluigi. Well, in Plumber Knight Returns, Doug is playing the role of Dr. John Horace, a corrupt psychologist.
Mario is a complex enigma, dresses like a plumber, beats people to a pulp,
And all in the name of his brand of justice.
Doug hasn't been in any of our videos for about 1.5 years, which is about the time that we ended Stupid Mario Brothers. So now he's back as a psychologist, trying to let the world know that Mario is an evil sociopath and that basically we shouldn't listen to him. So, Doug, how does it feel being the smart but evil man who is actually trying to sabotage our hero's efforts?
Well, when Chris and Richie told me they had a new role for me, they told me it was going to be something challenging and really breaking me out of my box. As you can imagine, I was rather disappointed. An intelligent, evil person is exactly what I am, so I'm not really sure what they were going for in that department. But it's, you know, it's good to be back. Nothing makes me happier than trying to ruin Richie's life, so naturally I'm enjoying that part of the role, and the whole new setup here is quite a new level of professionality. So, what can I say, RMA Productions? It feels like home. And all in the name of his brand of justice.
Did you almost forget your line as
all in the name of
his brand of justice?
I can do that one more time if you want, Richie. I kind of messed that up.
So, Scott Otter, Chris, why don't you give us a little bit of background on Scott Otter?
Well, as you guys know, whenever we have Scott in a video, we have a certain character type that we always write him in.
I need someone to yell, "I get Scott."
I know it's been some time since I last spoke, and I apologize for my absence in the public eye.
You are playing Mayor Philip Carson of Feral City for the Plumber Knight Returns. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your character?
Let's see, I'm Mayor Philip Carson. From what I've been told, I'm an asshole, and I'm corrupt, and apparently that's how I'm supposed to play Mayor Philip Carson as well. So I'm gonna give that a shot and see what happens.
We got our ashtray and our decanter full of God knows what.
Let's get drunk!
And then of course Scott, he's just corrupt.
So, Scott was awesome, and you'll just have to wait until the series starts to learn more about
I don't want to spoil too
crazy
much.
adventures. But that's all you need to know for now. And Scott, as always, is incredibly fun to work with. Whenever he comes into town, we love to put him in our videos, and he did a great job as Mayor Carson.
I will say that Mayor Carson does have a few surprises, but you'll just have to wait and see. Well, that's the end of our third and final production diary. We can't wait to see you on April 17th for the first episode of The Plumber Knight Returns. Chris?
Mark it on your calendars, and we'll see you at the season premiere.
See ya! Welcome to production diary number 2
For the Plumber Knight Returns.
I saw him jumping around through the alleyways. He was spitting fire out of his hands.
He's a superhero.
I know.